and system integration create strategic and technical alignment across programs, budgets, and timelines. Third is presently working as head of transformation at Cognizant California, USA. Sir is joining us through online mode. I would request sir to enlighten us with your thoughts.
ऑनलाइन नहीं है टेक्निकल
Mr. Sanjeevani will be joining us shortly. Now, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Jimal Baza. Sir is an alumnus of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, digital transformation leader with a focus on addressing business challenges of financial service organizations through the latest technologies and solutions. Focus area includes customer experience, digital marketing, and CRM, intelligent automation, advanced analytics, legacy modernization, and distributed ledger technologies. So, has a work experience of over 20 years with Infosys and is presently working as a vice president of Capgemini Financial Services Europe. So, will be joining us online from Amsterdam, Netherlands. Now, I would request Sir to kindly enlighten us with your thoughts. So, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Mm. Is my presentation visible?
No, sir, not yet. Yes, sir.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this forum. Today, I am going to touch upon a very interesting topic that's about the latest technology trend and the innovation that we see in the market and how it impacts our job and career. I hope you can see the next slide. So I've been now working in IT industry for more than 23 years, and I have seen a lot of change in technology, which is impacting different kind of jobs in our industry. Today, we have a lot of cloud architect, blockchain analyst, big data analyst in our organization and in the industry, and such kind of job didn't exist 10 years back. So if you look back, last 10 years, different kind of jobs which are there in the society, and now you will see a big difference. There are a lot of new jobs which are existing in the society, or is a lot of jobs that perished. So why it is happening? What is the future trend? How do we keep ourselves relevant in this context? I hope you have heard this term around fourth industrial revolution. I suggest all of you to read this book written by Klaus Schwab, who is the founder of World Economic Forum. What we are witnessing is a rapid advancement in technology across different dimensions. So in past few years, we have seen significant progress in technology such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, Internet of Things. Most of you are now moving from 4G to 5G devices, blockchain, on the biotechnology side, on the space technology side. Such changes are having a significant impact in our society, in our life, also the kind of job that we do. What is unique about the fourth industrial revolution is that it is bringing physical, digital, and biological fields together. I'll give you one example. It's about car. Few years back, a car is a more or less physical device. However, right now, most of the innovation happening in the car auto industry is about software. It's about building autonomous driving. Those days are not very far when we'll have autonomous car connecting with each other through 5G technology and managing the traffic themselves and driving themselves on our streets. We all are using smart watches now. Those watches are monitoring our health, and very soon they will identify if there are critical diseases, if there are emergencies. They will automatically reach out to healthcare centers where the AI machine can analyze and diagnose our health challenges. And based on that, if it is emergency, then they might flew a drone and send us medicine. So this is the convergence of rapid technological advancement that we see in our society. And this has a profound impact on how do we live, how do we work, and how our society functions. Now, how does it impact our job? I'll take one example which is profoundly impacting us. That's about AI. I hope many of you are familiar with OpenAI, ChatGPT, or the latest version of GPT 4.0. These are some of the articles or some of the news that has come over last 1 week. If you would have this discussion a week back, none of these news would not have been here. But as you can see, in last 1 week itself, we see major significant impact of AI being rapidly visible in our organization. There is a big changes happening, the kind of jobs which are there. IBM has announced to not to hire and eventually replace 7,800 job with AI. We see in the stock market, the shares of several companies are falling because of the kind of functionality ChatGPT bringing to replace the core competency of those organizations. In many different fields, we see the impact of AI and how it is impacting jobs. And it is already happening. In some cases, eventually AI will completely take over the job, even intelligent job. And in many cases, it will provide significant assistance to doing those jobs, eventually significantly impacting productivity, but then cutting down the number of jobs that we need in those areas. Even jobs such as doctors, lawyers, software developers, all such jobs can be significantly impacted by AI, with AI augmenting and doing a lot of work for them. So what do we do in this era? How do we keep ourselves sustainable? So let's start with a good news. The good news is that we have seen this before. It has happened many times in the human history. This is one example that I have put over here. I suggest you read this blog on the Microsoft website about an article called The Day Horse Lost His Job. It is about the rapid transformation in the automotive industry, which was happening in 1900, and that drastically changed the transportation mode from a horse-based transportation to a automotive-based transformation. So as you can see here, in 1890s in US, there are 13,800 carriages being pulled by horse. So all those companies, 13,800 companies, they lost their significance in just 20 to 30 years time frame. There are around 6,000 horses on the street of New York in 1900. In 17 years, none. The shops which used to sell wagons, carriages, they stopped functioning. They have been replaced by new shops. There are a lot of new companies that have come in, the taxi companies, the parking companies, the drivers. They are urgently looking for jobs, new skill. Those who are agile, those who could learn, train, get into these new jobs, for them it was opportunity. It was not losing out on the opportunities. And eventually, this era has created a lot more job than being destroyed by the innovation. So let's be hopeful that there are a lot of opportunities, and we can really reap the benefit of fourth industrial era. So what I did, I wanted to learn from what AI says. So I used ChatGPT to ask a question to ChatGPT. What are the opportunities for MBA graduate in coming days? And believe me, the next slide you will see my research and the findings from ChatGPT or the suggestion from ChatGPT. It exactly matches. I would suggest you try it out by yourself, and you will see there are a lot of opportunities. All those industries that we see in any different sector, be it healthcare sector, education sector, travel leisure sector, manufacturing sector, all those industries will go through these technological transformation. The business model will change. The underlying service operating model will change. The underlying product offering will change. And that brings a significant opportunity for us to be part of this digital transformation journey, to be part of these strategic changes which are happening. Sustainability is again a very important topic. All government, all industries, senior leader, everybody is focusing on sustainability. That is a huge opportunity that we have on sustainability. Security, cyber security is a major threat to all of us. We see a lot of opportunities over there as well. So the next slide is a finding of what are the key skills we need in the age of AI to be relevant. Let's remember that it's not one time. In our career, in coming decades, we'll see it happening again and again. Rapid disruption in the market. And how do we make sure that we are relevant to adapt to those societies, those markets, make sure that we have a right job and right career at right point of time. What is most important to have entrepreneurial mindset and skill set, because we'll see a lot of new opportunities. Even we'll create the opportunity for ourselves. Learning will be extremely important, as what we know today may not be relevant, reusable tomorrow. We need to learn new technologies. We need to learn new business setup. We need to learn how do we operate in the new era, and this will be a continuous learning process. Ability to solve complex problem will be very, very important, and those who will be able to think through and analyze and solve complex situation, they will find very nice opportunity at any time. Leadership skills are going to be important. Who is going to lead our world in the era of significant changes? Again, the aspect of interacting with people, that's going to be very important. That cannot be taken up by AI engine or technology. That's service orientation, emotional intelligence. These are very important skills to have in the new era. So my last slide. There are a lot of opportunities, as I have mentioned at this point of time. Let's think about the different industries and the opportunities, be it on the digital cloud transformation, on the sustainability side, all the rapid innovation happening and the changes happening that we see. The platform and economy-based business model, on health wellness side. After COVID, we see a significant rise in the travel, leisure, and the hospitality industry. AI itself is bringing a lot of use cases, a lot of startups, new company. They're coming up with a lot of solutions enabled by AI. So these are the new opportunities that we see now. But we don't know how it will be in next 10 years' time. We need to be agile. We need to closely follow the trend. We need to adapt ourselves to be ready for 2023 and beyond. I'll stop here. If there are any question, I can take.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Virendra M. Sharma. Sir is a professor of marketing in the Eberly College of Business and Information Technology at Indiana University, USA. He has published articles in the Academy of Management Journal, Journal of Academy of Marketing Science, Journal of Marketing Theory and Practice, International Journal of Commerce and Management, International Journal of Electronic Marketing and Retailing, Telematics and Informatics, and others. I would request Sir to kindly grace the podium with his enlightening thoughts.
Yeah, you hear me?
Sir.
And my dear students, thank you for being patient.
Virendra M. Sharma.
I hope you can advise because you're not moving forward. So my dear quick. I'm talking to you from heart and the structure as a professor, so here it is. You on the slide, please.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. The four issues, uh, and most of them are with my research, so you can see what I'm thinking on them. And I would like to share with you. So if you can, please.
Sir, AMT address, sir. AMT address.
AMG, like two files.
Yes, sir.
What is the name of the file?
File is address.
Yes, sir. Okay.
If you can put it out. So this is my visit to this area for the first time. If my brother had not brought me here, I would have been lost. Uh, It's a long distance walking from the terminal, last terminal of metro all the way here.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, so enough of my advertisement. Let's move to the next one. Next slide, yes, please go. Okay, there are 5 areas, and I'm doing research work in 3 of them right now. And always at the back of my mind has been Indian entrepreneur. That is always at the back of my mind. I left India in 1981. For almost more than 20 years. It's always been at the back of my mind. I was an entrepreneur, started my business right after IIT Delhi, graduated from there, but I failed because business was being in the hands of few people who had the license and connection with the government. So the young entrepreneur, you had no chance of succeeding in India at that time. So let me talk about circular economy. The government of India talks about it, Europeans talk about it. This is a problem created by the Europeans and shoved it on the rest of the world. Let me put it this way. The last 30 years, and I can tell you the base of that. On the next slide. One of the research papers published in 2018 by Batista. What so fancy? If I make a plastic jug, to make it simple. So what I need to do is I keep on increasing the product life cycle, keep on using it, share with my friends, don't throw it away. Just increase the product life cycle. And that is the right hand side. In fact, the recycle, etc. Is destroy it, send it back to the ingredients, which is impossible. Plastics. Beyond a certain time, plastic becomes difficult to work with, it becomes fragile, starts breaking down. So the whole purpose of circular economy is to reuse, recycle, repurpose, to minimize the pollution into the environment and also minimize the greenhouse gases, etc. This will create social equity, it will create jobs, etc. So people have talked about it. Let's go to the next one, please. This problem where somebody has separated it into 2 different areas. Then you could use open cycles as well as closed cycles. The Your professor might have talked about circular economy. If not, then maybe bother them more. They'll teach you. Let's go to the next one. So this is the latest model. Again, people have started giving so many hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours. And you look at that, complicated than it is. Well, no, making it complicated and then crying about it. It's too difficult. We are all going to die. No, we are not going to die. Let's go to the next one. So, is there problems? Circular economy is not a panacea. It's not a solution to all the problems. It has its own limitations. And I listed some of the limitations. One of them are thermodynamic limitations. Some of them go on students of physics. You've taken it. That whenever you run a process, it increases the physical energy and it's irrecoverable. That's the problem. Second, system of limitations. That suppose the waste is created in France. Now, let me take a step back. There are two types of problems in the world. One is in the countries like India, which produce the product, and finding the raw materials, make finished good. So we have one kind of problem. We are running short of the raw materials. There are problems in the West where they have the problem of what to do with the waste. So they have no land to fill with the garbage. And that's the problem they have. So can they send the waste to India? It's really too costly. So that is the problem here. Third one is physical economic growth. That creates a problem because we have so many people in this world. Do you know India has become the largest populated country with more than 1.4 billion? We have nothing else to do but keep on multiplying. That's what we do. Gets married and people start saying, hey, bacha nahi hua. Excuse me. So we just keep on multiplying. No disrespect for the kids. You know, blah, 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 we say that. But there is a problem. This world cannot support more than 5 to 6 billion people. We already crossed 7 billion. And there's plenty of poverty in America. You'd be surprised to know it. Plenty of poverty in America. Ever traveled to Appalachian regions, downtowns? Plenty of poverty. In India, people don't shoot each other because of poverty. There, they'll shoot right away. It's very simple. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so you can go through that definition of physical flows. Would have to address the waste recycling and the value to industry. This is where myself and my two co-authors, let's go to the next one. This is a model we are proposing. Our proposed model. Can you go to the next one? We'll come back to that. This is the model that my two co-authors and I are proposing, where we capture the regenerative and the cyclable properties. We have done a simulation analysis because real data is not available. And to our surprise, we find that a third recycle of the same product makes it economically easy. After third time, you start losing money, you get a grant from the government, maybe they'll help you out. Otherwise, businesses will not run it. Because business by definition, no matter what we say, they survive because of profit. They don't make profit, they're on the chopping block. People will cut them into pieces, buy them, sell them. That is the nature of the business world. It's very competitive. And you are business students, you'll be joining the business folks. I don't have to give you more advice on that. You're also really cutting throat of each other. So that is there. So this is the model we are proposing. That how we can increase the recyclability of, let's say, banana juice. Huh? Apply, leave it to the ground, or orange juice, or plastic. How many cycle the plastic? After third time, it becomes hungry, it becomes brittle, you have to discard it. It becomes a waste. So the moral of the story is that you make, whose composition is not very much different from the origin, is recyclable, can be reused. Chemical composition has been changed, difficult to reverse, too costly. And that is why these are the limitations. Let's go to the next one, please.
Next line.
Okay. The second is
Submit करने के लिए आ रहा है
discussed in the business
क्या?
should be by heart. Python? Or Python. But Python is so good for you. Python based analysis. But said and done, this is it. Identification of problem, use of statistical techniques
Yes.
and graphics to state the answer to a question, but it has not changed the basic thinking, and the thinking is you, how creative you are. If you are a copycat, which most of us are, you are no good. Be yourself, be creative. Maybe there's some possibility to produce solution. Otherwise, we become second-hand citizens, second-hand citizens. And we should try not to do that. It's monkey see, monkey do. We don't have to do that. So I have gone through two programs, one at Wireless and one at MIT. And the end result of that was, what is the I am the most program that taught me was something that I don't know. Have you given me a cluster analysis? I know you already. Maybe analysis, not a big deal. So all of this is not easy, tough, but you cannot be defeated. But if you become a copycat, then you're selling yourself short. Let's go to the next one. I won't take too much time for. Okay, business analytics. I don't want to give you advice. People are using it heavily. Now they're combining it with AI and natural learning progression. That's another language they're using, machine language. But remember, you are the boss, not the machine, not the technology. If you are guided by the technology, you know that it is you who has to control it, not otherwise. But if you're my student and you wrote a paper using ChatGPT, I already have written in my syllabus, get a zero. Is it talking? No. It's somebody else's work. It's not yours. Use your own brain, be thoughtful. And coming from an army institute where discipline is very high, I would love my students in America to be as disciplined as you are, which they are not, because the society is like that. But think, you're going to get some few gray hair, little bit baldy spots on your head, but women will still love you. So don't worry about it. Let's go to the next one. Training productive distributed function, we are applying it everywhere. Artificial intelligence, actually there's a law before the US Congress, how to control artificial intelligence. Because you can create a dummy of you who can drain your bank account, who can make your persona and start sending all the damn things about you. Critical thinking about this is the most important thing. I'm sure your professors are teaching you. Think. THINK. Think hard. If you think, you develop thinking, you can enter any field because you have originality. If you don't think, you can be given any technology, you are a second grade, third grade person. Choice is yours, think about it. Let's go to the next one, folks. Social innovation, again, I just touched briefly. I do not think social innovation is a separate topic. Innovation, individual's mind. Bill Gates, you take the case of Steve Jobs. it happens in one individual's mind.
तो
Then they gather a team around themselves to flesh it out. And later on, we have the application of the innovation every year. GPT is developed by one small company that NBC, Microsoft bought it. And Google is now trying to recreate a second-hand chat GPT. They failed the first model failed, but they're trying. But the most important thing is how creative you are. How creative you are. This is the place to learn, not to run a rat race. Think. If you think hard, you can do something. All right. Anything else? Or we done? Okay.
3 slides please.
Social innovation must become a goal of industry and businesses. In addition to making profit, yes, we want our salary one needs to have a good meal a day. Just include. Business program needs to include more bottom lines, as people say. I have a different point of view. Once you make profit, what will you give to the poor? If you have money, you can give it. If you don't have it, what will you do? This is where we differ with the economists, we differ with the social field, now who call them socialists. And you give unless you have some. That's the most important. If you consider educated avoid poverty, this is what is happening right now. Educated and poor educated. Because there are too many copycats running around, folks. Trust me. These days, if you are creative, if you're a journalist, you write your own paycheck. Companies would like to give you what you asked for. If you are not, then you get what they give. And it is a buyer's market, means they give you the lowest, ask you to work for 12 hours or more. And in 5 years, you get stressed out, you are in trouble, you change the job. But the situation again remains the same. Be creative, think of developing something, no matter how small it is, you can write your own paycheck. If you are a journalist, just like anybody else, you get what you're given. Think about it. Don't be one of the educated, employed, poor person. This is a new category is being created. Okay, so think about it. You will become an Uber driver. Okay, drive your own car. In my view, this is a topic of next one. This is a topic of which we are, because I'm working on right now one, which is under the last. This is more from the Indian point of view. Yeah, I was reporting on the scene. We have seen enormous amount of bubbling of entrepreneurship. There are too many rather, I would say, good words. There are a lot of entrepreneurs, which is a good thing. Indians were always entrepreneurs, but at one time we were not into seeking government job all the time. Okay, that has changed now. So websites are coming up. Yeah, they become untrustworthy. You Amazon.com, have you trusted your local website? You don't buy there. Why? So it's a vicious cycle. We don't trust them, they remain another. So I have written a model. It's right now the third stage of review. General marketing to that. That these firms will be here. And 66% of them is the page that is first over here. It's the big number. If you think that business is becoming practical line of research, can you remember this one? And I have built a model called Medic model. It's a moderated, mediated model. It's more complex unless you are the industry, where we can say that if you include these variables in the website and increase the amount of perception of investment in the website, and find people who are highly interested in it, you have a 78% variance explained, as I say. So this article is close to getting accepted. I hope when I go back, Boba has a good look. So Clive is my partner in crime. So we have published so many articles back. So we think this article was written from the Indian point of view. We have too many websites who remain unfamiliar. They are good people, but nobody knows them because we know only the Amazon.com. Why? I think about it. Think about it. So, what's the next one?
Sir, over, sir.
And that?
It's the final one, sir.
Should probably go back to my seat. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, sir.
Mr. Sanjeevani has just connected. So now I would like to introduce Mr. Sanjeevani to deliver keynote address. Sir is passionate about enabling companies to capitalize on their strategic initiatives by streamlining processes for organizational and operational results, delivering new global capabilities in product development and system integration, creating strategic and technical alignment across programs, projects, businesses, and techniques. Sir is presently working as Head of Transformation at Cognizant, California, USA. Sir, please enlighten us with your thoughts.
Hey guys, good morning. Can you guys hear me? I'm just doing a mic test, I guess.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
All right, okay. It would have been nice if I can see the people instead of myself in the main screen, but okay, all good. Hey guys, I'm from Cognizant. I lead some of the transformation and quality for some of the key accounts which we have in licenses. I just moved to the CMT, what we call it as the digital native companies. So I know that there have been a lot of people who have given the speech about a lot of good things prior to me. So I can tell you from my experience what I have dealt with, and you can take few pieces from there, right? The good part about Cognizant or something similar from our industry, what we have done is, let me start off with, I don't know, have you guys heard of Cognizant Technologies? Just raise your hands so that I know that I'm not the only one. I'm very close to lunch and I'm probably the last one to talk about. So I just want to ensure that everyone has heard of Cognizant. Just raise your hands if you have. Okay, I do see few, so I know that there are few people who are awake. So Cognizant has been in the news for right and wrong reasons for some time, but let me put it out to we had a good quarter. So that is a good news for us. And I don't know how many of you follow Formula One. Just raise your hands if you do. All right. So then you should definitely know about Cognizant, considering Aston Martin is one thing which we sponsor as those. So that is a good news for us, right? So we are fourth, or probably the fourth in the constructors and the fourth in the drivers. So we are doing well there. So apart from that, I just wanted to start off with a lighter note. So few of the things which we do is we start with the leading technology, and we also address a lot of big time issues which we have. A couple of years back, we had a kind of a problem across the world. Have you heard of COVID-19, guys? I'm guessing all of us have, right? So one of the things which we did as one of the industry is, I'm just talking from the industry and the company side of it. So few key accounts which we have are also global pharmaceuticals. And one of the segments which we work with is called as pharmacovigilance. So talking about COVID-19, and people are talking about, we were developing the drugs. So there were a lot of side effects which are coming into play, and how do you ensure you take care of it? So there are certain departments which are in our companies, which is called the CRM, which is clinical research organizations, which are wherein we are actually supporting them to identify what could be the side effects and ensuring that side effects are being spoken about in the federal bureaus or FDAs, and how do we ensure that we report that information. So we were the ones who are actually scaling up to ensure that we are able to identify across the globe what kind of issues we're having with the COVID-19 drugs, and informing back to the business as well as to the government and the regulatory bodies to take care of it. So some of the things which we do, how we influence the different worlds, is something as well. The other thing which I want to talk about is in the similar, if I had to talk about in the similar life sciences market, would be, have you heard of? We all know about diabetes, and diabetes management is one of the big things which is there for the life sciences business, right? So in life sciences business, we work with one of the largest device manufacturing companies, and one of the products which they do, and there are quite a few other products which they do, is diabetes pump. Have you guys heard of diabetes pump? Okay. I cannot expect a response from you guys, but okay. So on the diabetes pump side, which we basically talking about, God, sorry, I don't know if I heard anyone. Okay, doesn't matter. So one of the things which we're talking about the diabetes pump is the big thing which happens on type 1 and type 2 diabetes is your blood sugar levels. You have to control it all the time. And the way you do it is call it as CGM, right? One of the ways which we are actually helping them in the research side of it is how do we ensure, how we develop that particular product, and how do we market those products across the globe. So those pieces which we are basically trying to do, and if you now notice the diabetes, these pumps have become far more better. You have Apple coming into play, you have Medtronic, which is one of the biggest accounts which we have, and how we are able to manage and how are we able to develop and ensure we are able to market those products is something which we are looking at in terms of the social innovation, right? So those pumps, how do we ensure we get to the people, and how do we get the feedback as to how they're working for them, and what would be the certain different changes which we'd like to see, and every year how do we bring about those changes, is something which we work very closely with the organization as well as the people who are actually working with them for utilizing. So that's something which we take care of that. The third piece which I wanted to talk about in terms of where we are ensuring we are able to provide support for some of these accounts, especially on the driverless or autonomous cars which we're talking about, right? So those companies which we work with, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit of a feedback. Is that me or is it otherwise? Okay, so
Nothing. No feedback.
okay, it's just getting okay. Coming back to the same point is the other cutting edge technologies which we have heard of. I don't know if you guys have heard of Lemonade as an insurance company. That is one of the other companies which we work with, or we're trying to work with on. They actually they were the fastest way of settling a claim. They actually settled a claim in property and casualty side of the businesses, wherein they settled a claim within 3 minutes of it being raised, and you settle that whole thing. So the way they were able to do that is basically they have the technology. You click the pictures and then you send it out, and within minutes the money comes back to the to the bank. And that Lemonade as a business, I don't know if you have heard of Lemonade as an insurance. It is one of the fastest growing markets or fastest growing companies in the market. And the way we are able to support them again is to help them in terms of their account, in how we can ensure the research as well as ensuring that streamlining of the process. Because any settlement of an insurance, if you go to a GSA today, they are not able to take care of that within, like, they normally take days and not minutes. Or so that's something which we have been working with them on, streamlining the process. It was taking something like 3 days. We brought that account brought down to the minutes which we were able to do that. So some of the things which we do across the board, and I'm sure you guys, when you join those companies, you will get to see how we are able to streamline some of these processes and take care of them. Uh, there are quite a few other places wherein the social innovation comes into play, and it is in a very subtle manner. I'll take an example of a very interesting company called Lululemon. I don't know if you guys have heard of Lululemon. It is one of the leading brands, especially for women. If you guys, all for all the people, and who are very active in terms of physically active, and you're interested in you know, you know all the physical activities. Lululemon is one of the leading brands for them. One thing which was happening for them was the footfall which was happening inside that particular product. It's an extremely high end product, and people who walk in generally just walk out after doing a window shopping and probably buy something else in the Amazon. So we were actually asked as to how do we improve the conversion rate in those particular accounts, or the particular stores. So as a consulting, what we actually did was we actually tied up with anthropologists, and anthropologists who learn the human behavior and everything. We actually stationed 15 of them across the different stores to understand the human behavior and how actually people pick up the product, and why do they not pick up the product. The complete redesign of those particular stores actually helped them increase the store sales by more than 15%. So that acts, the examples which I'm giving you right now are the way we actually touch different people in different socially, as well as how do you actually help your accounts or businesses, especially our partners, in improving the sales for themselves, as well as how do we interestingly take care of them. So that's something which I wanted to touch upon in terms of how we, you know, ensure that we are able to support the business while we are talking about social innovation, and how do we take care of starting things like COVID-19, to talk about the one of the fastest growing diseases which we have, which is called diabetes. And ensuring how we are able to manage the diabetes as a problem, and also in terms of some of the things which we also know in terms of obesity, and how are we able to manage some of the leading brands to ensure that they are able to increase their footfalls, so that they are able to increase their product awareness, as well as, of course, increase profitability across the board. So that's something, few things which I wanted to talk about from my experience, which I have. I'm sure there are a lot of other interesting topics which you would like to know, but this is how some of the leading brands, which like i.e. like Cognizant and other teams in the industry, actually are touching companies or organizations globally. I'm open for any questions if you have any, and would be more than happy to answer them.
Is there anyone who has questions? Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts.
Now, Professor A.K. Sen. So, is currently Professor and Dean of University School of Management Studies, Director, Industry Interaction Cell, Director, Development of GGSIB University, New Delhi. So, he is appointed as Professor in 2007. He is a member of Secretary of IQAC team, University. Third is postgraduate in physics, computers, and management. He obtained his doctorate degree from FMS Delhi University in the area of information systems. Before joining USMS, he was holding a senior academic position at FMS Delhi. He carries with him blend of industrial and academic experience of more than 35 years, out of which 6 years is the industry in responsible capabilities. Dr. Saini has to his credit 16 published and edited books and over 110 papers in national and international journals and conferences. His major interests include information systems, databases, technology and innovation management, knowledge management, and healthcare system. I would like to invite Sir to share his thoughts. So please.
Thank you so much for nice introduction. Let me, at the very outset, congratulate the institution led by the director, the organizing team, the faculty members, and students. The kind of events which are organized by the institution that also speaks about the kind of thinking which they carry in terms of how do we apprise and make our students aware about what are the current trends which are happening in the domain in which they are studying. So this very timely event in terms of talking about the social innovation. If you look at innovation, in fact, primarily innovation has been at the forefront of the industry. But I think in 2015, when the UN started talking about and defined its SDG goals, sustainability becomes at the center stage. That came at the center stage. And we all started, the whole world started talking about sustainability because that is something which is concerned with the aspect of those phenomena which actually need to be sustained, need to be maintained so that our future generations can also make use of it. So they defined 17 goals, and along with those goals, they also defined certain targets to be achieved by 2030 for 2030 agenda. And there are 169 targets which they defined. And along with that, they also looked at how do we popularize it, how do we disseminate it, and that was through the different events, 3,810 events, and then about the 1,300 plus publications to be brought out in this domain. We are already at the center, almost midway of that initiative, which was 2030 agenda, starting in 2016 plus January, and almost the middle stage. I think that's the time that we need to really look at how much we have moved into that. And especially when you look at the theme of the conference, that's social innovation, which is important. Innovation, as I said in the beginning, that it is primarily an activity which was pursued by industries because they wanted to be more competitive at the market. But the sustainability aspect brought those factors into focus, which actually are going to say, address the societal needs. And we started looking at how can we really efficiently and effectively transform and look at the development of those technologies that we can focus on those needs, which actually the governments are unable to address. And that is why we find that these days, when you look at the innovations that are happening or the technological developments which are actually happening, they are all focusing on specific aspects and taking into consideration what we call as the accessibility, the affordability, the ease of use for the cost. So this is what actually has brought in one of the common factors across all innovations. And we find some of these the latest technologies, what we call as which I think one of the speaker also said about industry 4.0, which was primarily focusing on technological developments in the domain of AI, IoT, cloud, big data analytics, and all that. But I think we are going beyond that. And we did when we, I think some of you must have studied that in technological development, the subject which we have been covering in the MBA program on management of technology and innovation and change. Industry 4.0 is almost the last stage. We're already talking about Industry 5.0. I think you remember that S-curve we talk about when the technologies they start growing simultaneously, a new technology is also born. We are not talking of Industry 5.0. We basically focusing on that is kind of a vision which industries are now looking at is how do we address or develop a system which is not only focusing on efficiency and productivity, that also should also focus on the societal needs, the social innovation. So Industry 5.0 is trying to bring out that framework in which we are going to focus primarily on meeting those societal needs. So this is something which we expect to happen. And this is what we call as true uh, with the education system also. All these goals or the sustainability goals which we have defined as a part of the social innovation process, they are unachievable unless we exploit technology in a big way, because they are the enablers. And there was a huge reference of technology which was made during the course of discussion by the speakers also. And we find that we have such scenarios which actually are available in the country, and we are talking of those initiatives which should be called as which are oriented towards the social systems. Uh, like we talk of Startup India, Make in India, and now talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we can always see that the example, one of the, just reading an article, that is the latest example of so Swadeshi. Swadeshi is basically something which is indigenously developed as a robotic surgeon or SSI mantra. I don't know, have any of you have heard about it? This is an indigenously developed robotics surgeon, and it's already performed 100 plus surgeries with 100% successful rates.
Wow.
So that means we are trying to reach out to all, whether they are the remote locations or they are anywhere. I think this is something which is going to transform the way we are able to render our healthcare services. I think this is a very good example of social innovation we are looking at. Now, looking at the students' perspective, if I think we all need to focus upon what's called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is important, and that's why we are giving a lot of impetus on startup activities among the students, entrepreneurial activities. And we have introduced a subject on entrepreneurial mindset for nurturing that kind of thinking right from the beginning itself. And you have been the universities trying to take a lot of initiative in terms of funding those initiatives also. Uh, I think for any student, whether it's from DB or from NB or from other domains, I think what you need to do is really say develop and invite those skills which are going to be useful and meaningful in the current time. Because technology can only provide a solution, but ultimately it has to be developed by human beings. So we need to look at what the speaker also said, that we need to look at that we must try to focus upon the problems of solving capabilities. We must try to focus upon them. Critical thinking is important, but at the same time, critical thinking is also very, very important. Unless we think out of the box, you are going to regenerate what actually is already done. So we must try to focus on critical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving abilities, and collaboration. Collaboration is very, very important in this case, because something which you are trying to do might have been done by somebody else, partly or fully. You try to build upon those concepts and try to say develop those ideas which are going to again meet the needs of this society. And apart from that, you need to have skills which are the technological skills and social media skills, which is very, very important these days. And this is what industries actually are looking for. So I think in brief, I would like to say that the technologies are one of the major enablers, and we find that these technologies actually are turning the way we look at our life. I think all of us have passed through that COVID-19 stage, and I say that it has been bad definitely, but it also has also provided us very positive thing, and that is that the transformation which we expected to come later has come much faster. That means yes, only speeded up the transformation, especially if they get the digital transformation in a big way. So we have already taken the lead in terms of 4 5 years in adopting those technologies, and today all of you are using technology, digital services in a big way. And the latest thing which we find, and I think one of the reference was made about ChatGPT. Yes, it is transforming the way we cannot imagine even. I was just trying to share with you that I thought of using it. How does it really work? So I just signed up that account and try to set up question paper for English students in technology lab. And I found a very beautifully designed question paper, which even I cannot think of. But I think this should not stop us from thinking, learning. Because it just depend on technology. Technology is going to be us. I think we need to use technology. I think one of the speakers also said that we need to use technology. We should not be dependent on technology. But I think this has a huge scope for us. It is going to be facilitating those individuals who actually have certain limitations. So this is going to provide them the support system. So thank you so much and wish you all the best for this.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your points with us. Now, I'd like to invite Professor S. Mohanty, convener 6th International Conference, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all present over here. Professor A.K. Saini sir, Dean, University School of Management Studies. Professor Parinder Mohan Sharma, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Our director sir, esteemed guest, my fellow colleagues from different institutes who have already served with me in this institute, Dr. Param Gupta, Dr. Shruti Gupta, Professor Ganesh Sinha sir, Dr. Ritu Kapoor. Actually, really we should be very much privileged by seeing you in this conference. So at the outset, I want to deliver the vote of thanks to this august audience. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Parinder Mohan Sharma, Professor, Department of Marketing, Indiana University, for enlightening our students on the contemporary particular innovation, what are the different things we have, and what are the issues and challenges they have to solve. And I'm not only, but all the present audience will learn from your journey, starting from an entrepreneur to never-ending successful researcher. Thank you so much, sir. Next one is, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Dimut Kumar Basha, Vice President, Capgemini Financial Services Europe, for connecting from Netherlands. Sir, I'm sure I'll go through the way you have already mentioned. The day the horse lost the job, it was really an effective session. Thank you so much, sir. And next is to Mr. Sanjeevani, Transformation of California, USA, for joining at all hours of USA. Thank you, sir. For raising the social awareness. So our students will be much more beneficial from your knowledge, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Once again. Last and also very much grateful. I'm sure that after this particular informative session will definitely helpful to our students and the researchers who are present over here. And lastly, I'm also very much thankful to my director and registrars sir for their kind support and guidance.
Dr. Chayan Kumar Sahu, Director AIMG, to kindly felicitate our guest. Mr. Virendra Sharma, Professor, Department of Marketing, Indiana University, USA. Sir A.K. Saini, University School of Management, GGSIPU. Sanjeev Uni, Head of Transformation Cognizant, California, USA, and also special thanks to Mr. Jimot Basa, Vice President, Capgemini Financial Services Bureau. Thank you so much, sir.
I request all students to remain seated while our guests are leaving the seminar hall. I request everyone to move at their designated place for lunch and report back at seminar hall at 2 p.m. sharp for the technical session.
And